10 signs you are alone, not bored. People can feel lonely for many reasons. Perhaps you're constantly surrounded by other people but feel as though no one actually knows you. Maybe you feel as though you are isolated from others and need more personal interaction. You may feel you lack companionship. If any of the above is true for you, then you may be experiencing loneliness. Recognizing loneliness is the first step toward overcoming these feelings and moving forward to a more fulfilling life. Loneliness can be a serious condition and can even be a form of depression. For something as serious as loneliness, it is important to know the signs before the condition gets any worse. It can come in many shapes and forms, but there are some common symptoms among individuals who are experiencing loneliness. Some of the symptoms include materialism, a weakened immune system, weight gain, or even a social media addiction. Many of the signs and symptoms of loneliness are normal. If they occur occasionally, they may not be cause for concern. However, when they become the norm, they might be indicative of a larger problem. How to tell if you're experiencing loneliness. Here are some of the medium. 1. You're surrounded by stuff. If you find yourself surrounded by stuff, you may be attempting to fill the void that loneliness has created in your life. If you find that you've formed an unhealthy attachment to your possessions, then it could be that you're trying to make up for a lack of personal connections by connecting with material items instead. Many studies have shown that it is healthier to spend your money on experiences rather than stuff. This suggests you'd be better off taking the money you would have spent on your widescreen television and buying a plane ticket to Hawaii instead. Sure, stuff can be nice, but over the long term, it may not be as fulfilling as the sights, smells, and sounds of a location you will be able to recall in your memories forever. 2. You're sick all the time. If you're experiencing loneliness, you may find that you are constantly getting sick. For example, you may be constantly getting over a cold, only to get hit right after with another illness. This may be because your stress levels are consistently high with no way to release that stress. If you are experiencing persistent feelings of sadness and you have no outlet for these negative feelings, for example, no friends to hang out with, nothing fun to do, then you may stay stressed. And when you remain stressed, it is more difficult for your body to repair itself, leading to lengthier and increased illnesses. Your immune system is stronger when you are happier too, so even if one of your friends is sick, you may be more likely to fight off infection after spending time with that friend. 3. You're constantly checking social media. Studies have shown that using social media sites such as Facebook, for example, increases your levels of loneliness. This is because of the disconnect that using social media creates. With social media, we no longer have to reach out and talk to our friends. Instead, we sit back and ogle their pictures of a life that appears to be superior to ours. People tend to put their highlight reels online and leave the loneliness on the cutting room floor. Social media is another thing we can become addicted to when we're feeling a lack of social interaction in real life. You may think that having a higher friend count may make you feel better about yourself, but in fact, it may make you feel worse. This can lead you to form negative thoughts like, I have so many friends, and not one of them cares enough about me to make time to hang out with me. 4. You surround yourself with negative people. Not surprisingly, you are more likely to be lonely if lonely people constantly surround you. In this way, you might say that loneliness is contagious. Misery loves company, and you are significantly influenced by the company you keep. Thus, you may want to try to spend less time with negative people and more time with those who exert a positive influence. If there aren't many positive people around, you may want to go out and find some. You never know when you'll make new friends, especially if you go to more than one meetup. 5. Difficulty sleeping. Insomnia, disrupted sleep, or other sleep-related issues may all be physical symptoms of loneliness. Another sign is sleeping too much. Often when people are feeling sad, or in this case lonely, many turn to sleep as a way to block out how they feel. According to previous research published in the journal Sleep, loneliness can wreck the chances of getting a restful night's sleep. What we found was that loneliness does not appear to change the total amount of sleep in individuals, but awakens them more times during the night. When you feel lonely, you show more micro-awakenings. 6. Loss of confidence. Loneliness is an emotional response to an unwanted situation. Over time, loneliness can affect confidence and self-esteem and make people withdraw from others and end up avoiding situations that may help reduce feelings of loneliness. 8. Loss of appetite and exercising. Some signs of loneliness also include a loss of appetite and not finding the motivation to exercise. People may take less care over eating well or healthily, may not exercise as much as they should, more likely to smoke, and we know these have a negative effect on our health. 9. Increased desire to binge watch. Previous research conducted by the University of Texas found that the more lonely a person is, the more likely they are to binge watch TV or films. While this is something many of us do occasionally, the study found that, sadly, lonely people do this as a distraction. 10. Social anxiety. If you are regularly feeling lonely, a key indicator might be that social events leave you feeling burned out, emotionally drained, or mentally exhausted. In terms of mental health, lonely individuals are more prone to depression and anxiety, particularly social anxiety. It also puts individuals at greater risk of cognitive decline and dementia. What to do if you are feeling lonely? If you have been feeling lonely for a while, a first step is to notice and identify this, even just to yourself. Everyone will have a different experience of loneliness and different reasons for why they are feeling this way. Don't keep it to yourself. It's tempting to think that loneliness is something you should keep to yourself, but opening up about how you feel might really help, as you may find that other people have had similar experiences. Talking to someone about your feelings of loneliness and learning positive coping techniques can be a helpful way to deal with the negative emotions associated with loneliness. This is the end of the video. Thank you. If you watched to this end,